A POS or point of sale is a device that is used to process transactions by retail customers. A POS may be a physical device in a brick-and-mortar store or a checkout point in a web-based store. The software for POS devices is growing increasingly elaborate with features that allow retailers to monitor inventory and buying trends, track pricing accuracy, and collect marketing data. Point of sales are important focus for marketers because consumers tend to make purchasing decisions on high-margin products or services at these strategic locations. However, with the importance and convenience of using POS for transactions, some unscrupulous elements are denting the usage of POS. Today on our interview segment, we shall be discussing point of sale fraud, agony of Nigerians. My name is Aisha Muhammad. Welcome to the program.
I am Abdurrashid Bawa. I stand against corruption. I call on every patriotic Nigerian to lend their voices in this crusade. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. Together we'll make Nigeria great.
A fire incident occurred at the Enugu Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC, which affected one of the buildings of the command. The incident that occurred at about 12:30 a.m. was triggered by a surge in public power supply, but the ensuing inferno was later put out through the combined efforts of the Enugu State and Federal Fire Services. No life was lost in the incident. Here are details.
The EFCC has assured the public that the fire incident that occurred at the Enugu Zonal Command of the Commission will not affect the operations of the command. The Secretary to the Commission, George Ekpungu, gave the assurance during an inspection visit to the command. Speaking with journalists after a tour of the facilities affected by the fire, Ekpungu expressed relief that the inferno did not affect critical components of the work of the Commission. He noted that the digitization process initiated by the Abdurrashid Bawa leadership of the Commission had ensured that all the Commission's processes are fully digitized with backup at the central server in Abuja.
EFCC is ICT-wise very sophisticated. Whatever they have here, we have in the head office. So we have a way of recovering a lot of things. And since coming on board of Mr. Abdurrashid Bawa, we've been digitalizing our processes. So a whole lot of the things that have been born here may not affect our operations. It's just that if you are going to church or mosque and your clothes tears even small, you become conscious of it at all times until you finish that process.
He stressed that although the incident was said to have been triggered by a surge in the public power source, the Commission cannot make any categorical statement on the cause of the inferno until an ongoing investigation into the matter is concluded. He, however, expressed happiness that no life was lost during the incident and commended the Enugu Command of the Nigerian Police and Enugu State Fire Service for their quick response to the fire. According to Ekpungu, their timely response helped to contain the fire, thereby preventing it from spreading to other buildings within the complex. The Secretary was accompanied on the visit by the Director of Public Affairs, CEO Sitangwaja, the Commander of Enugu Zonal Command, ACE1 Aliyu Naibi, and other senior officers.
The acting commander of the Kaduna Zonal Command of the EFCC, Aisha Abubakar, has charged banks to take extra measures to safeguard their customers against losses arising from fraud and other malpractices. Golden Onwura has the details of this report.
Abubakar, who gave the charge at a one-day sensitization program organized by the Command for Banks in Kaduna State, noted that success in the fight against economic and financial crimes, especially in the financial services sector, depended on collaboration between the Commission and money deposit banks, among other stakeholders. On his part, Head Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering SCUMO, Kaduna Zonal Command, Ayodakbo Kazim, enumerated the responsibilities of financial institutions such as banks in opening accounts for designated non-financial businesses professions, DNFBPs, as defined in Section 30 of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. He made the enumeration while presenting a paper titled Sensitization of Compliance Officers of Banks on AML CFT Laws and SCUMO Regulations. He noted that failure to follow due process would amount to contravention of the extant law, which attracts specific sanctions and penalties, including imprisonment. An officer of the Public Affairs Department of Kaduna Zonal Command, CSE Nana Fatima Abubakar, presented a paper on routine activities of the Commission and gave participants insight into the various activities and functions of the Commission. At the end of the presentation, the participants expressed satisfaction with the engagement, adding that they were better informed about their duties under the new anti-money laundering framework and the gamut of engagements by the EFCC.
Are you a dealer in cars, jewelry, precious metals and stones and luxury goods? Are you into real estate, or are you an estate agent, surveyor, valuer, developer or broker? Are you into the hospitality industry, lottery business, or are you a mortgage broker, tax consultant or an accountant? Do you have a supermarket, pools betting and consulting or construction company?
If you have,
go and obtain your certification from the Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering, SCUMO, and be free to do your business within the ambits of the law. SCUMO has the responsibility to monitor, supervise, and regulate the activities of designated non-financial business and professions, DNFBPs, across the country. Please note that the SCUMO certificate is not a guarantee of legitimacy of any business. To register, visit www.scumo.org. For collection of certificate, visit any EFCC office nearest to you. Remember, registration is free.
SCUMO, securing Nigeria's business environment. This message is from Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
If children are deprived of their childhood, socially, economically, physically, and mentally, the nation gets deprived of the potential human resources for social progress, economic empowerment, peace and order, social stability, and good citizenry. This is to show how important they are in the society and the vital role they play in having a better country. Hence the reason the EFCC keeps engaging them, making them anti-corruption vanguards. In this next report, you will see the continuous efforts put in place by the EFCC to catch them young. Stay tuned.
I excel in my academics. My integrity shall stand as a beacon for all.
My integrity shall stand as a beacon for all.
So help me God.
More EFCC integrity clubs have been launched in different parts of the country. The latest schools to open their doors to the club are the Kaduna International School in Badarawa, Kaduna State, and Brightway College, Nasme Road, North Bank, Makurdi, Benue State, and other schools in Makurdi. Speaking during the launch of the club in Kaduna, the executive chairman of the EFCC, Abdurrashid Bawa, charged students and youths to take responsibility for securing a better future for themselves by shunning crime and criminality. The EFCC boss, who gave the advice through Head of Public Affairs, Kaduna Zonal Command, Zainab Sani Ahmed, stressed the need for value orientation. He emphasized that hard work, patience, integrity, honesty, responsibility and contentment are values that will make a difference in the lives of young people. The students were also sensitized by another officer of the Public Affairs Department, CSE Nana Fatima Abubakar, on the Commission activities. High point of the event was the affirmation of the inaugural pledge for integrity by the students.
I excel in my academics.
I excel in my academics.
My integrity shall stand as a beacon for all.
My integrity shall stand as a beacon for all.
So help me God.
In Makurdi, Head Public Affairs Department, Makurdi Zonal Command, CSE Adeniran Adebayo Samuel inaugurated integrity clubs at Brightway College and Nativities Private School, Makurdi, Benue State. He urged the students to let integrity be their passion and called them to be foot soldiers of the anti-corruption fight. Golden Omura, reporting for the Eagle.
Coming up is Conviction Update with Abbas Abubakar Umar.
There is an overriding truth about corruption, economic and financial crimes, be it in Nigeria, Africa, or anywhere in the world. Corruption hinders the development and progress of a nation and its people. It tramples on the rights of the common man to have the basic needs, which include safety and security, food on his table, access to education and medication, to mention but a few. Between the 2nd and 5th of May 2023, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC successfully secured 40 convictions in its fight against the menace of corruption, economic and financial crimes. A breakdown showed the Benin Command with 8 convictions, Lagos 7 and the Ibadan Command 6. Abuja and Kaduna Commands each got 4 convictions, Headquarters and the Port Harcourt Command secured 3 each. Oyo 2, while the Kano, Makurdi and Ilorin Commands each secured 1 conviction. This totaled the number of convictions to 40. To clean up the aging stable is a task for us all. We must all come together, work together and fight together to make our country great, free of all forms of economic and financial crimes. Back to you, Aisha.
According to an online report, Punch investigation findings states that the most common means through which point-of-sale POS fraud is perfected is after a transaction. A customer's details such as card number, card verification value number, expiration date, and passwords are illegally copied or memorized by a fraudulent POS operator. Well, that might not be too far-fetched from the truth, but let's go to our interview segment where Ojochukutami Eche and our guests are standing by to discuss our topic for the day, which is point-of-sale fraud, agony of Nigerians.
One of the things that hurts the most is to have someone take your hard-earned money away from you just because they think they are smarter than you are. Stay with us as we discuss point-of-sale fraud, the agony of Nigerians. What kind of agony? What's the extent of the agony Nigerians are going through as a result of point-of-sale fraud? Answering our questions today is Assistant Commander of the EFCC, ACE2 Bawa Usman Kaltungo FSI. He's the head Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON desk of the EFCC headquarters, and former Zonal Command, Sokoto Zonal Command of the EFCC. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Nigerians.
Very good. Now, I would like you to give us the meaning of POS fraud. I mean, a lot of people have heard about POS and then fraud. How do these words come together to make, Nigerians very uncomfortable in their environment?
Before we go into the definition of the fraud, we need to understand what is POS. Okay. Yeah. My name, as you said, Bao Osman Kaltungo, FSI, Fellow Security Institute. It's very important. Yeah, POS simply means point of sale, and sometimes technically it is called point of purchase. Now, what is POS? It's a device that is used in carrying out a transaction by retail customers or by anybody that is in business. So it's a simple device, a handheld device that can be used to consummate a transaction. That is the simple definition of POS so that a layman can understand. Now, as you rightly said in your introduction, there are a lot of things that comes with it. Sometimes in a technology, you find that when the good is being made, some people try to circumvent that good thing. They try to create ways that they can make means out of it, and that is where the issue of fraud comes in. Now, when you say POS fraud, well, in my research and my understanding, there is no standard and formal definition of POS fraud, but from investigative point of view, it can be derived as the process in which illegal transactions were carried out with the use of POS in such a way that you come to make a transaction, then at the end of your transaction, that is when the POS machine or device will get involved, whereby you need to make payment, and that's when they will bring that device for you to make payment. Now, in that process, fraud can occur either from the POS operator or from the person that is about, or from the customer who wants to make payment, fraud can occur by both sides. So the fraud is not only the customer, but also the operator as well commit fraud as well.
Okay, AC Kaltungo, now you've told us the meaning of POS and then POS fraud. How does it work? When does it become fraud? When I go out there to consult, perform some kind of transaction, how am I likely to be defrauded? Or maybe me defrauding, because they said it's a two-way thing.
There are different ways in which POS fraud are being perpetuated. Now, let me look at the angle of the customer who comes to a shop and purchase things and he wants to make a payment. Now, what he does was, when you have key in how much is going to pay, and you hand over the stuff, the POS machine for him to key in his own PIN number, so for the transaction to be consummated. The moment he collects that, for instance, if he wants to operate a POS, what they do was that they will cancel that transaction. You understand? And then they now go back to, there's a place that will point you to take them to history. They will punch that history, that figure that he's supposed to pay will suffice, will show up on the screen. And he will point on it, and it will now take him to where I say print. He will not print, he will not point on print, and it will print out approve. And you, the owner that gives that sold that item to you, you will see approve, and you will give him the items. He didn't know that transaction ab initio has been cancelled by him when he handed over the device. And you will see, like, okay, yeah, payment has been made, you allowed him to go with your goods, but don't knowing that your account has not been credited. So at the point that you will know is when you come to make reconciliation, you will find that the receipt is here, but the money does not reflect in your account. That's why you now know that you've been defrauded. That's on the part of the customer. Now, on the part of the operator, I know some of the operators, I think Nigerians should know, some of the operators are Yahoo boys. Yes, because Yahoo boys too, they own, because it's a business now, it's a booming business. So even Yahoo boys are involved in it. Now, what happened here is this. When a customer comes to make transaction, either transfer or debit, what happened was, when he gives his card, now some of these fraudsters, they have camera installed in their kiosks. So unknown to the customer who submits his card, the details of his card is being videoed, is being filmed by the hidden camera. But there's a way they do it, because he really wants to get your data, so he will snap it both front and back. And by the time they finish your transaction, they'll let you go. And sometimes, when you go to do a transaction, they will put it in this machine. Some have more than two devices. They will put it in this device. It will tell you that, sorry, network is not good, let me try the other one. They will try the other one. Maybe it's the third one that will sail through. But you don't know that in the process, during these first two trials, they were trying to get hold of your data. And at that point, they will snatch your data unknowing to you. You understand? So, but your transaction was consummated on the third, after using the third machine. So those two were just for them to have time to to capture your data, and by the time that you go, they will not perpetuate the fraud that very day. They will leave it like 2 or 3 days or a week after, when you have forgotten. Then that is when they will now use those data to effect transaction. What they normally do is they will go online. They will not they will make transfer, or sometimes they will buy something in Amazon, which is very difficult to be traced. Same way to Amazon, which is outside the shore of this country, and they make certain purchases, they can buy a recharge card and stuff like that. So this is one of the angles that they make their own, the POS operator defraud a customer that comes. Okay, now, based on EFCC's experience, what are the red alerts that, customers and even POS operators should look out for so they don't fall victim of, POS scam? I want Nigerians to be careful, because it has to be, you have to be very, very, you pay attention whenever you approach a POS operator. Pay attention to whatever he's doing, and pay attention on your card. Your card is very, very important. Pay attention to whatever the moves is making. Try and pay attention to it. You don't, and besides, you don't expose your data to somebody who is not supposed to see. When you are keying in your PIN number, you don't allow third party to see.
Now, you are with the EFCC, and I know that a lot of these cases come to you. When they do, what exactly does the EFCC do to help these people? How is EFCC, fighting this fraud, called POS fraud?
Yes, in our statute book, there is no punishment specifically say POS fraud. Okay. But the fraud can be categorized into certain offenses. It can be theft, it can even be money laundering, it can be criminal breach of trust. So all these things, they carry their separate penalty. You can be charged under stealing, which is I think a maximum of either 2 to 3 years imprisonment. You understand? So it depends on where the legal department categorize the act that you committed, because they have to look at it. You understand? Is it identity theft? Because some, they will even come with POS that is not their own, and which is very important. Now, this area, the POS operator is liable because according to the guidelines for POS operators that you collected from the bank that issued that POS, it is stated clearly that, one, if somebody comes to do a transaction, you must get his identity. One, if you come with because some, they will come with a stolen ATM card. So if they come with a stolen ATM card, you are expected to do due diligence. Okay, you have to ask them questions. Is this your POS or someone else's POS? Is someone else's POS? Whose POS is this? ATM card. He tells you. Collect the phone number of that person to make confirmation. And in the event you are not satisfied, you don't consummate that transaction. And even if you are satisfied, you need to go further. Okay, you need to collect, if you give you somebody's ATM card, then you need to collect his own identity. You have to look at his passport photograph, you understand, to make sure that you have you have to record it in your book. But this is one thing that these POS operators don't do at all. And if somebody comes and tells you, okay, yes, it's my card, then you ask him, okay, let me see your ID card, another means of identification. He brought his ID card. You make sure that the picture on the ID card, you make sure that the ID card has picture that correspond with his face. If the ID card does not have his picture, then you know that it's not his. And if he gives you an ID card that has no picture of his, you cannot identify somebody by only name if you don't know him previously.
Okay, now let's talk punishments, because I know that many cases from the desk of the EFCC goes to the courts. Now, if someone is convicted of POS fraud, what is the likely punishment for that kind of crime?
Yes, the likely punishment depends on the charges prepared by the legal department. Under which law have you been charged? Is it stealing? Is it fraud? Is it criminal breach of trust? And sometimes it takes like 2 to 3 years imprisonment.
So it depends, the punishment depends on the charge prepared by the legal department. So before I let you go, what are your closing remarks, to the general public, especially to customers who frequently use POS operators and, of course, the POS operators themselves? What do you have to say to them?
So thank you. Very, very, very important. Both Nigerians, POS operators, they need to be very, very careful with their business. You have to put an eye on your business. You have to protect your business. And how do you do that? Look at how do you protect your device. Where you keep your device is very important. Do you keep it in a place where an unauthorized person can have access to? Even when you're operating it, do you key in your data, especially your PIN, in the present or in such a way that the third party will now see and master your PIN, just as what happened with the other guy that mastered the PIN of one of the operators? So these are things that you need to guide against. And you that goes to POS guy, look at how does the man operate? Do you see any untoward dealings with him? Does it look suspicious in transaction? Does it try to do some funny move with your card? As I said, you always have to put your ears and your eyes to see how your card is being used.
My name is Ojo Chokutami Eche. Aisha Mohammed is waiting for you right there in the studio for the rest of the program.
Thank you, Ojo Chokutami, for that interview. As rightly heard by our guest, we should all protect our PIN when doing business. And for those doing the business, the POS operators and Nigerians in general, be conscious of what you do and stand for integrity, do the right thing always. And with that, we have come to the end of today's episode of The Eagle. We'll come your way again next week for another interesting edition. Let's keep the conversation going by sending an email to info@efcc.gov.ng or call us on 0809 3322644. Use the EFCC mobile app, The Eagle Eye, to report any fraud you see happening around you. You download the app, you follow the steps and report fraud on the go, and you can also take pictures of corrupt practices and upload them. Also remember to join us every Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. on our web-based town hall meeting called EFCC Connect, where we answer your questions and note your observations of the anti-corruption fight in order to serve you better. I am Aisha Muhammad, leaving you with these parting words from former South African President Nelson Mandela. He said, and I quote, "It is in your hands to make a better world for all who live in it. So let's all be the change we want to see. It begins with you and I. Stand for integrity and do the right thing always." Goodbye. God bless Nigeria. Please do stay safe, be kind to yourselves and to others around you, and do enjoy the rest of the week.